I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. Welcome to the Body, Mind, Empowerment channel. Today I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere and I found this nice little creek or a little river, and I thought I'm gonna go swim there, do some polar plunging, some cold thermogenesis, and yeah, that's practically it. As you can see, I'm standing on this bridge. It's a beautiful winter day, and the water looks cold, and as you can see, I've already lined up all my clothes here as well, so I'll be ready to get dressed after I come out. I'm not actually sure how safe. I have to be quite careful while I'm going in here. Whoop. Yep. And it's muddy. It's quite, you can feel. Whew. Once you get your body in, then you can start to feel how your body starts to react. So control your breath. Do not let your fight or flight response take over. To stay calm. And that's the most important part, because if you lose your control over your breath, then you're gonna trigger the sympathetic nervous system response. But other than that, if you manage to stay calm, if you control your breath, then it's gonna be fine. And at the moment I'm starting to feel even better, feeling my body promoting a ton of heat. Blood is beginning to move, and it'll move around a little bit.
It is a bit nippy.
I also wanted to talk about, why would you want to do it? Like, let's talk about some of the health benefits of this kind of cold immersion. And I'm gonna go through some of the studies that I've found. Cold exposure can trigger this anti-inflammatory norepinephrine release that reduces short-term pain from injuries. It can also reduce muscle soreness. It boosts happiness. Cold water unleashes this floodgate of mood-boosting neurotransmitters, such as dopamine and norepinephrine. Some studies have found that it can help you to battle depression. One of the best benefits is that it bolsters your immune system, and it's gonna kill off viruses and other tumor factors. There's a ton of research supporting that. It increases the antioxidant glutathione and superoxide dismutase, which support the liver functioning, optimize cellular processes, and protect against oxidative stress. So basically you become better at dealing with all kinds of physical stress. It increases brown fat. Brown fat is this kind of metabolically more active adipose tissue. It's supposed to be healthier than white fat, because white fat can be only used as caloric storage, whereas brown fat, it can be used for regulating your core temperature. And the difference is that brown fat has more mitochondria in them, so that's why it's brown. The adrenaline and norepinephrine release that you get is gonna boost your energy, focus, mood, and sleep cycles. It can also trigger neurogenesis, which improves your memory. That's as crazy as it sounds. Cold exposure increases your tolerance to stress through the body's mechanism for hardening. And of course, it teaches you how to generate its own heat and allows you to control your autonomic nervous system. I also want to take a closer look at this study that did 1 hour immersion in waters of different temperatures. 1 hour of head-out cold water immersion in water of 14 degrees Celsius increases metabolic rate by 350%, plasma norepinephrine by 530%, and dopamine by 250%. Norepinephrine is basically adrenaline, and dopamine is the reward pleasure hormone that causes pleasure. And the combination of these two is like this incredible ecstasy feeling, and that's the reason why people feel so empowered and so amazing after doing these kinds of things.
Up cold.
It's quite nice. Whew. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. Oh. Shit. So it was a quite nice little dip for a few minutes, but don't really need to do anything longer than that. But my body is very, warm. The only problem is that my fingers and my toes are quite numb. So I think like that's the biggest issue with these kinds of things. You're actually quite dry. You dry off immediately after you come out of the water. Like there's no, it vaporizes immediately, instantly almost. And walking on the snow is the only painful part of where your toes and fingers are getting contact with the cold. Other than that, I simply have to, dry myself off, get my fingers and toes, fuck, they're fucking red. And yeah, I'm gonna get dressed now. Now I'm feeling quite good, almost. Wow. After you come out, you're gonna get this amazing dopamine rush and you feel energized.
Brings you in the purity of the physiology as well as the soul. And you get in a different plane than our conditioning. And that makes you a free man.
Okay, so why don't I explain why I'm doing it as well? Well, first of all, besides the amazing health benefits of cold thermogenesis and winter swimming, I also do it as a mental exercise to condition myself mentally to handle these kinds of uncomfortable situations, especially like these survival scenarios in a sense, almost as well, to not get too comfortable living in this modern world and to always keep myself conditioned enough to handle the elements, to handle different types of stimuli, both the cold and the heat, high intensity exercise, resistance training, cardiovascular exercise. These kinds of cold thermogenesis, they're all means of preparing myself or keeping myself conditioned. These kinds of ultimate primal fitness in a sense. And even though I definitely love technology, I definitely love the modern world, I still think it's important to not forget about these kinds of things, and even if you do it deliberately, then that's a huge plus. It's a huge advantage because you're allowing yourself to have this kind of a distorted space between the unexpected, and you're keeping yourself even more engaged in this regard. And definitely a huge mental exercise and physical conditioning. But of course, it's also going to teach you how to handle fear, how to control your fight or flight response, to not be overtaken by fear. And whenever the shit really hits the fan, then you're able to, stay calm. And I believe this kind of things, they're gonna allow you to deal with the other stressors in modern life as well. Like, I don't know, getting stuck in traffic, you don't get anxious in public speaking, you're able to control your emotions a lot better. And yeah, it's the idea of creating this empty space between you and the stimuli that you experience. You learn to distance yourself from the things that you're experiencing, and yeah, that's amazing. That's huge. That's like the best. That's like the greatest aspect of mental fitness. So we're back home, back at the cozy warm indoors, and at the moment I'm just drinking some warm tea to warm myself up. And to be honest, I got quite warm back again. Like my muscles and my toes, they got, extremely. They started to produce heat extremely fast after you came out of the water, and it was quite surprising actually. I've experienced it before, but this time it actually happened quite a lot faster. I would imagine it's because, the more cold adapted you become, the better your body becomes at regulating your own, inner thermostat in a sense, and that's why I was able to, regain my core temperature faster as well. The moral of the story is that you should definitely try out some cold water immersion, and you don't have to start off with something like I did. You can start off by taking some cold showers, wearing less clothes, walking outside in the snow, and you can move on from there. Eventually you can do some polar plunges, and it's gonna feel amazing.
You're freezing.
You definitely shouldn't start off with these cold water immersions right away, because your body isn't capable of dealing with these kinds of things, and it becomes even dangerous. So at your own risk, you definitely don't want to do it without supervision in some sort of a random place like I did. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here, but yeah. Don't do what I do. I'm just sharing my own experiences and experiments. But yeah, other than that, click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. Like always, thanks for watching. My name is Seam. Stay cold adapted, stay empowered.